So, as discussed in the morning, we're going to go ahead and do the pendulum reading now in the evening also. The topic is actually Akhil Gupta and Nikhil Advani. Okay, it is 17:19 or 17:20, which is 5:20, 5:30 in the evening, Saturday, 21st of June 2025. Okay, so we will go do the pendulum reading. I have asked the pendulum if it is willing to talk. It is moving, it is willing to talk. So, okay, I wanted to continue with the session. I checked with you earlier also if you're willing to talk. You say yes, you can speak. I'm actually wanting to ask you. I asked you about Akhil and Nikhil. Akhil Gupta, he you said was murdered in 1995. Nikhil Advani is still alive. They had a common girlfriend called Sukhi. There was some incident they mentioned about something about their relationship with her. I cannot remember exactly when that was, but I think it had something to do with Bangalore Club. Yet, for whatever reason, I can't remember whether it was when they were in college or was it after they left college. Was it when they were in school? Was it an incident that happened when they were in school? Or was it an incident that happened when they were in college? School, college? Nikhil graduated from Bishop Cotton's. Akhil, I can't remember his school name, but it had a blue shirt, grey pant. It was an SSLC school which he was moved into because he was flunking it otherwise. So it was a terrible school, but he had to pass his 10th standard. So he and Umesh had to graduate from that SSLC school, which was not a great school. Anyway, I'm trying to understand, did this happen when Nikhil was in Bishop Cotton studying? So this is when he went to college. Whatever the incident is, it happened when he was in college. Is that the reason Akhil was murdered in 1995? You say Koshi Gupta or Kaushalya Advani was murdered in 1993? Was it because of this incident? Was it because of Suki the incident, or was it because of Sapna and Aarti the incident? Was it because of all three girls? Was it because of all three girls? Can you give me the exact timeline of the incident when it happened? When it comes to Suki, can you tell me which year it was? Was it the 1990? The year 1990? The Suki incident happened in 1990, 91, 92, 93. The Sapna incident happened or Aarti issue happened when? 1990, 1991, 1992, Sapna incident was 1992, Aarti issue was 1992. I'll need to take notes of it, just 1 minute. Suki issue was 1993 itself. Suki, Aarti and Sapna work together even today? Do all of them work together today? I don't know what that girl Suki's full name is. Her name is Sukshmita or something? Sushmita? Sukmita? Aarti is Aarti or Arta. And Sapna is Duran's daughter. Sapna also works in shape-shifting and in the movies in any way? Suki also does the same work today? Or did she do so in the past? Let me just take notes of the years. Okay, 1 minute. Suki was 1993, Aarti and Sapna 1992, she says. I'm finding it strange because Rajan Mama is Rajan Mama, Mala, Alisha are all relatives. Binu, Shilpa, Sunil, Anil. They're relatives of Aarti from her mother's side. So I'm surprised. Can you tell me about Mala Auntie, Rajan Mama and Alisha? You say they were murdered? They're still in their human form? Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's relatives, also by in-laws or then grandchildren, called Alisha Sadrangani. Are they still in their human form, Varsha? You need to show me whether she is or not. You need to actually move the pendulum so that it's loud and clear. Rajan Sadrangani is in the human form. Parvati Sadrangani's womb related son. That means Ramchand Sadrangani and Parvati Sadrangani, who were married, Manjeet Mama as brother, is he in his human form? He got married to Mala, who was Leena before. Is she in her human form? You want me to hold the pendulum in a better way? Now tell me. Mala Sadrangani is in her human form? Rajan Sadrangani is in his human form? Alisha, their second daughter, is in her human form? This couple had a daughter earlier called Hina. Are they the parents of Hina? Can you give me the year in which Mala has passed away? Rajan Mama when he has passed away, and Alisha when she has passed away? Is it before 2010? You say they were murdered. Was it before 2010? So we start with Rajan Mama. Was it the year 2010 that Rajan Mama was murdered? In the year 2010 itself? 2009? 2008? 2007? 2006? 2005? 2004? 2003? What about Mala auntie? She was murdered when? Before 2003? Before 2010? After 2010? Alisha also was murdered after 2010? So was Mala auntie murdered in 2010? 2011? 2012? 2013? 2014? 2015? 2016? Mala auntie was murdered in 2016, you say. What about Alisha? Alisha was murdered before 2016? In 2016 itself is when Alisha was murdered? 2015? 2014? 2013? Give me a minute, let me just write it. I met Mala auntie and Rajan Mama and Alisha at Mala auntie's mother's house. Mala auntie was complaining that Rajan Mama is harassing her a lot, troubling her a lot, asking her to make tea in the middle of the night, wakes up at 3 and tells her, go make tea. That is because that was not the real Rajan Mama. Is that the case? The girl I met at Mala Auntie's mother's house because they gave their Cuff Parade flat 1 BHK out on rent and moved to Kulaba instead from Cuff Parade. The girl I met who arrived later on in the evening, about 10 minutes before I left their home, she was supposed to be Alicia. Was that the original Alicia who I met on that evening? Was that the original Alicia Sadrangani that I met on that evening? Alicia Sadrangani had already been murdered when I went to their home to visit just once. The real Alicia Sadrangani, who studied at Sangli to become a medical doctor, had already been murdered. I met the replica of Rajan Mama and the replica of Alicia Sadrangani. The only one who was complaining was Mala Auntie, making fun of it, but that was the only one who was the original. Mala Auntie was the only original left. Did they stay upstairs only when I left on that evening that I left from their building? Were they upstairs only? They came down to see me off, get into the car and leave the compound? It's true, they came down to see me off in the car. We all went down to the compound. I got into the car and they came down to see me, which was very polite of them. But I was meeting them after ages. Otherwise, I used to meet them in my Nani's house when my Nani was alive. So Alicia, the practicing doctor, is not the original. The whole family has been wiped off. Alicia studied at Sangli. She has a sister who died because of water retention in the head. So she's actually the second child. The first one was Hina. Rajan Mama was the next one attacked after my mom. So in 2006, who took me to Mr. Maria? And the minute we stepped out, I was told, "You'll think there's something wrong with you." I went with evidence to him. He said he'll send ladies to my home if my father gives permission. To meet Mr. Maria is a very big deal. You just can't walk into his office. Nobody allows you to meet Commissioner of Police just like that. Yet I was able to meet him, except that I arrived there before another lady arrived there. But that lady got a chance to meet him first, in spite of arriving later than me. So who took me to Mr. Maria, who was not the real Mrs. Anita Merchant? Because if Mrs. Anita Merchant was taken underground in 2002, where Mr. Kiran Merchant was, and he was murdered in 2009, they were together underground for a long time. Now she's gone into hands which are good, is what this is saying. But if she's gone into hands which are good, wouldn't she tell you to catch Kira? Why are you still allowing Kira to give guidance to? Why are you still allowing Kira to give guidance and mess up things everywhere? Kira stood in for Kiran Merchant. Can you tell me in which month of 2013 Alisha passed away or was murdered? Was it before June 2013? So was it the month of June 2013 itself? Was it May 2013? Was it April 2013? Was it March 2013? Was it February 2013? So these people seem to have a set pattern. Either it is Labor Day, Valentine Day, or then New Year. They celebrate some birthdays, or they celebrate some occasions this way, murdering people arbitrarily. Either they are celebrating Labor Day, or they are celebrating Valentine's Day, or they are celebrating New Year's. Is that true? They're a sick lot. Okay, just wait. When I told you they're celebrating Eid, you didn't believe me, na? I'm the one who's wrong. You know everything. If Alisha was murdered on the 3rd in February 2013, they celebrate, you said, Valentine's Day, New Year's, and Labor Day by murdering people arbitrarily. Some of the shapeshifters for some of the people in parliament are involved. Are there hardened criminals in India's parliament? Was a lot of money siphoned off in the making of the new parliament? So if Alisha was studying to be a doctor and she had passed her doctor exam, and I think she could have been doing her internship also by then, I'm not sure. But if they got rid of her as a doctor, then who did they bring in her place to be a doctor? Anybody in the place of somebody who's been murdered is unethical and with a different agenda in mind. So what do you do then? And that's 2013. We're now 2025. That means the replacement has been practicing for 12 years. An agenda pro-India. A replacement of Alisha Sadrangani's replacement as a doctor's pro-India. Okay, if I can go ahead and ask you about Binu Sadrangani, Shilpa Sadrangani, Anil Sadrangani and Sunil Sadrangani have all four been murdered. They're from one family. Did I meet Anil Sadrangani at Bora Bora at Andheri West? Was that Anil Sadrangani I had an evening out with? That boy was wearing the ET of Nikhil Advani when he said, "And you thought, what can we do?" Once we finished eating, drinking, paying the bill, and we stepped out of the restaurant or the lounge called Bora Bora. So he had Anil Sadrangani's face. His attitude was strange. But when he said, "And you thought, what can we do?" he had the ET of Nikhil Advani. But whether that was Nikhil Advani's ET or that was Nixie Nikhil, I don't know. Was he wearing Ramesh Advani, DNA related to Mr. Hakumat Rai and Kalavati Hakumat Rai Advani's grandson? Nikhil Advani, who is DNA related to Mr. Hakumat Rai Advani and Kalavati Hakumat Rai Advani, and DNA related to Parsaram and Nirmala Mirchandani. Is that boy in his human form? You're telling me his clones Nixie Nickel are in their human form? You're saying his replicas are out in society? Can you tell me Mr. Nikhil Advani, who is DNA related to Mr. Hakumat Rai Advani and Kalavati Hakumat Rai Advani, is their DNA related son, along with being the grandson of Parsaram and Nirmala Mirchandani? Is that boy in his human form? Is he DNA related to Umesh Hingorani? So you telling me that Nikhil Advani is no more? You're telling me that Hakumat Rai Advani's grandson is no more? You're saying my real cousin Nikhil Advani from the 1970s is no more in his human body? So we've lost all the boys in the Advani family, in short. Whether it is Umesh Hingorani, whether it is Nikhil Advani, whether it is Akil Kabir Gupta. You're saying we've lost most of the boys in the Advani family? Along with that, Varsha Advani, file name Cat. Can you tell me which year Nikhil Advani passed away or was murdered? When was Hakumat Rai Advani and Kalavati Hakumat Rai Advani's grandson and Parsaram and Nirmala Mirchandani's grandson? When was he murdered? Can you tell me? Was it before 1995? Was it between 95 and 2000? Was it between 2000 and 2005? Was it between 2005 and 2010? Was it between 2010 and 2015? Was it between 2015 and 2020? Was it between 2020 and 2024? Was it 2025? Was it this month, 2025? He was murdered in June 2025 when Kira got panicky, SL got panicky, and they murdered lots of people in this month, in these last 2 weeks. It had something to do with Errol's visit to India. Mala is aware that Nikhil has been murdered. Mala Bhavnani is aware that her husband Nikhil Advani is murdered. So Nikhil passed away in what? The last 10 days? Nikhil was murdered in the last 10 days? Over the last 10 days? Was he alive last week? Was Nikhil in his human form last week? Nikhil was murdered what? In the last 3 days? That means what? 17th, 18th, 19th June? Okay, Nikhil was murdered on the 17th of June? Before the 17th of June? 18th of June? 19th of June? 20th of June? Nikhil was murdered on the 20th of June? After Ritika. His murderer is who? SL or Kira? The combination of SL and Kira? Just now somebody made a sound under my body. Is that SL and Kira who made a sound under my body? Cyrus Mistry is involved in his murder because today at the name of Cyrus Mistry they were hooting. Is Rocky Fernandez, Agnello Fernandez, Tony Fernandez involved in the murder of Nikhil Advani on the 20th of June 2025? Sanjeev Lekhraj and Kira, Sanjeev Lekhraj is involved in the murder of Nikhil Advani on the 20th of June 2025. Kira, who has stood in for Kiran Merchant for 25 years, in and out maybe, is he involved in the murder of Nikhil Advani on the 20th of June 2025? Let's just clock the time. We're talking yesterday. We're talking about yesterday. SL and Kira on a panic mode. And those are the two rats hiding under my body. They're bad news for anybody. I don't know what you're talking about, Dimes, SL, and Kira. I don't know why you keep talking shit. You just step into the afterlife. Let's see what your earnings are. I think you better spend your time considering that. 26 kalpa nark and patal. 11 and 12 kalpas nark and patal are no, frankly, any kind of achievement. तो डाइम्स तो छोड़ो, कर्ज बहुत ज़्यादा है. Is Nikhil healing as of now? Is that the reason why the pendulum was moving so slowly this morning? So Nikhil is healing as of now. Is he in a happy state, however, that he has joined back with the family and that he's back with the community? So he's happy to be back amongst you guys. Are they going to be going for Liana and Mala and Nikhil's son? That's their next target. Tell me one thing, why am I not going to join with you people? In these next 6 months, SL and Kira will try to kill me. Murder me, in fact. Will they be successful? So can I join you people by the end of this year? Am I going to get abducted by Kira and SL? Do you see that happening in the timeline? But SL and Kira are going to try to murder me if they can. Kira and SL are going to try to murder me. You say they're going to be successful murdering me? So if they're going to be successful murdering me, you're saying for 15 years after I get murdered, I'll have to be a ghost? Is that the reason I can't join you almost immediately? But then even Nikhil was murdered, right? But Nikhil could join you immediately. So the way Nikhil has joined you immediately, will I also be joining you people immediately? So then can't I be with you people almost immediately the way you guys are right now? You're saying for 15 years we cannot go back to our loka. For 15 years we have to be ghosts here on the earthly plane? But we will be together? So anyway, I have at least I'll be received by how many people? At least 30 people will be there on the other side who I'll be hanging out with. Plus Shirdi Sai Baba. What, we're supposed to go and help people who are going through a tough time on earth? We're supposed to go and work and give them strength in spirit. That's why we have to hang around here for 15 years. 15, 20 years, you said. Okay, can you tell me about Binu Masi, Shilpa, Sunil, Anil? Binu Masi passed away, or rather, was Binu Masi also murdered? Was it between 2000 and 2000 and let's say 6 sometime or 7 sometime? Was it the year 2000 and was it the year 2000 that she was murdered? Was Binu Masi murdered in the year 2000? Was Binu Masi murdered in the year 2001? Was Binu Masi murdered in the year 2001? Was Binu Masi murdered in the year 2000? Was Binu Masi murdered in the year 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008? Binu Masi was murdered in 2009, 2010, 2011. Binu Masi was alive and was in her body in 2011. Binu Masi had left her body by 2011. Binu Masi was in an unconscious state in 2011. Binu Masi had gone to the afterlife in 2011. Was she already in the afterlife in 2011? Okay, so Binu Masi left her human form after 2011. Binu Masi left her human form before 2011. Binu Masi is still in her human form as of today. Okay, you don't want me to ask it this way. Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's daughter, Beena Sadrangani, in 2011, was she in her human form? Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's DNA-related daughter, Beena Sadrangani, mother of Anil, Sunil and Shilpa, was she in her human form in 2012? The same lady was in her human form in 2014. So you are telling me that Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's daughter, called Beena Sadrangani, she left her human form in 2014? Sunil was still in his human form at that time? Anil was still in his human form at that time in 2014? Shilpa was still in her human form in 2014? Okay. Beenu Sadrangani, rather Ramchand Sadrangani and Parvati Sadrangani's DNA-related grandchildren. Sunil Sadrangani was in his human form in 2010. Was Sunil in his human form in 2010? Okay, Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's grandson, Sunil Sadrangani, DNA related. Was he in his human form in 2009? Are you telling me that Sunil Sadrangani, as mentioned earlier, DNA related to Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's grandson, Beenu Sadrangani's son, was murdered in 2009? Is that what you're trying to tell me? He was murdered in 2010? Okay, hold on. So today 4 times you played the drilling, grilling, carpentry sound. That's because you murdered Nikhil yesterday? My cousin, last cousin, brother, Nikhil Advani. You murdered him yesterday, so today you were sitting and throwing weight around, playing the carpentry cheap sound that you play usually along with the welding crap. Every time you have fucked around with my family, on their birthday you fuck around shamelessly. 44 कल्पास नर्क और पाताल कम नहीं पड़े तुम लोगों के लिए, उतना भी पहले तुमको बताऊं. Tell me one thing, Maya. No, tell me about Shilpa. Parvati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's granddaughter, DNA related, called Shilpa Sadrangani or Shilpa Rao. Was she in her human form in 2010? Was she in her human body in 2011? Was she in her human form in 2012? Was she in her human form in 2013? You're telling me Shilpa Sadrangani lost her life in 2013? You're saying Shilpa was murdered in 2013? Shilpa Sadrangani, granddaughter of Parvati and Ramchand Sadrangani, was murdered in 2012 itself? She's the mother of Kavya? At her delivery again they did something upside down? Did she lose her life almost immediately, or was she kept alive for some time? Shilpa lost her life almost immediately. Shilpa lost her life almost immediately. That was in 2012 itself. It was parallel, something like what happened with Varsha. But did she get CRISPR to be anybody else? She was just directly replicated. Okay, and what about Anil? Anil was still in his human form in 2012. Anil being Parpati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's DNA related grandson. Anil Sadrangani was still in his human form in 2012. So Parpati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's DNA related son, Anil Sadrangani, he was in his human form in 2011. Parpati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani's grandson, DNA related grandson, was in his human form in 2010. Ramchand Sadrangani and Parpati Sadrangani's DNA related grandson, Binu's son, Anil Sadrangani, was in his human form in 2009. So was Anil Sadrangani DNA related to Parpati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani? Was he murdered in 2009? You're saying Anil and you're saying Anil Sadrangani DNA related to Parpati Sadrangani and Ramchand Sadrangani was murdered in 2010. Sometime in 2010. Okay, let me just make notes of it. S.M. Krishna's daughter Vicky married to Siddharth. Shambhav E. Hingorani's sister called Vicky. S.M. Krishna's other daughter married to Siddharth or CCD. Is she in her human form today? So that Vicky was in her human form in 2016. Shambhav E's sister was in her human form in 2016. Was she in her human form in 2015? Shambhav E's sister, S.M. Krishna's other daughter, married to Siddharth. She was in her human form in 2014. Was she in her human form in 2013? Was she in her human form in 2012? Siddharth's wife was in her human form in 2011. Was she in her human form in 2010? Was Shambhav E's sister Vicky, S.M. Krishna's other daughter, married to Siddharth CCD? Was she in her human form in 2010? Was she in her human form 2009? Was she in her human form in 2008? Was she in her human form in 2007? Was she in her human form in 2006? You're telling me Shambhav E lost her sister. Mrs. Shambhav E Hingorani lost her sister, Vicky, who was married to Siddharth or CCD, in the year 2006? Was that girl murdered? Okay, was Vicky murdered is my question to you. First, would you put it down as Vicky, that is Siddharth's wife, was murdered? Was she murdered in 2006? Was Vicky, Shambhav E. Hingorani's sister, married to Siddharth CCD, murdered in 2007? Are you saying Kira is responsible, the Pakistani spy is responsible for all the murder that has happened with Sanjeev Lekraj? And he has replaced most people mentioned over here with some clone or the other? Has he brought in a clone for Nikhil Advani too at Kemp's Corner? Or wherever, at Carmichael Road? But will he be bringing in a clone for Nikhil Advani? Was Nikhil travelling yesterday somewhere where he's been murdered? Just give me a minute. Jaya Kira date? Definitely not. That'll trigger him further. Don't you think Kira should have some shame? Kira has stood in for a man called Mr. Kiran Merchant, who's my mother's second husband. While I never called Kiran uncle, my stepfather, he was always my mother's second husband, but his values, his morals, his ethics, his behavior is impeccable. Kira should learn when he takes face of other people, he should learn to fit in line with them. Otherwise, don't touch those people's face. Go to faces, take faces where ethically you fit in. Either play it to the hilt or don't touch that identity. Okay, can we continue with the session? Nikhil is with you. He's recuperating. Tell him not to overexert. Was he traveling yesterday? Okay, Vinod is still in his human form. Is it going to be Vinod's turn also to exit soon? Is it going to be my turn to exit soon? In the next 6 months? Within the next 6 months? Shirdi Sai Baba keeps saying that marriage will be arranged amongst your family members or by your family members. Is this what he is talking about? So the journey is going back into the afterlife? He's speaking about this for whom? For Jaya Kanyalal Hakumatrai-ADVANI or Jaya Anu Parpati Ramchand Sadangani, who went with file name Cat to Fort Convent School and graduated in the year 1989? This is for Mr. Kiran Merchant, the original Mr. Kiran Merchant's legally wedded wife in her second marriage, Mrs. Anita Merchant, or ex-Mrs. Anita Advani. She's the one who's going to be traveling towards the end of this year. She's going to be joining you all in the afterlife. That's my mom. So you are directing this towards her. She's going to be joining Binu, Shilpa, Sunil, Anil, and you, and Nikhil. The girl who went to Fort Convent School and studied with you, graduated in 1989, who's holding the pendulum, your sister, called Jaya. Will I also be exiting out of the body soon and joining you people in the afterlife? I, who went to Fort Convent School with you, Varsha, file name Cat, and graduated in the 1989 batch. Is it me that you are telling me that I will be traveling abroad, leaving the current country that I live at? I will be moving to another location overseas, is what you are saying? You're telling the girl who went to Fort Convent School with you, who's me, and graduated in the 1989 batch from Fort Convent CJM, Nathalal Parekh Marg. You're saying I have to be in the human form for the next 15 years? 15 to 20 years? More than 15 to 20 years? About 15 years? I have to still hang around this earthly plane in the human form for the next 15 years? That's what you're telling me? So you're telling me, who went to Fort Convent School with you, I'm going to be what? Going with Kira? The girl who went to Fort Convent School with you to CJM, Nathalal Parekh Marg, Kulaba, Bombay, I'm going to be going with Kira. I'm going to be going with SL. Will I be going with anybody I know? It is somebody from the 70s connected to the Advani family, because Shirdi Sai Baba keeps saying it has got to do with family relationships. The person knows where I'm located at? That person knows Nikhil is no more in his human form? Will that person figure it out that Nikhil is no more in his human form? Will he come to know about it? That Nikhil has been replaced? And that Nikhil was murdered on the 20th of June 2025 while he was traveling. He is the DNA related grandson of Hukumat Rai Advani and Kalavati Hukumat Rai Advani and Parsaram and Nirmala Mirchandani. That's his DNA and that's his identity, just for identifying who he is. He's also my first cousin. So tell me one thing, Kira is going with SL will try to murder Varsha.ADVANI, file name Cat, her sister, who went to Fort Convent School with file name Cat. Is he going to try to get rid of me? He's going to try to get rid of my mother. He's going to try to hunt her down and get rid of her, and he's going to be successful by the year end, is what you are saying? Anyway, the people from the 70s who are connected with the Advani Sadrangani family, they're the people that Varsha.ADVANI, file name Cat, her sister who's me, who went to Fort Convent School with her, batch of 89. You saying they know where I'm located? Will they get fooled and confused about where and who is the real Varsha.ADVANI's older sister, JAYA.ADVANI? Will they get confused about it? Will they be fooled about it? So the people who are still in their body on earth from the 70s know where to locate me. They know exactly where I'm at. In my case, my physically packing up bags and moving to another country happens when? End 2025? Later than 2025? Earlier than end of 2025? Are we in the month of July 2025 as of now? So do I need to be prepared for movement? Physical movement, is that what you're trying to tell me? Do you want to share with me which month I should be prepared for physical movement? So December 2025 I should be prepared for physical movement. Is that the month I'm supposed to move physically? November 2025 I have to be prepared for physical movement. You're talking to your sister, older sister, who went to Fort Convent School with you at CJM, batch of 1989, and you are batch of 1991. So you're talking to that who's batch of 1989. So have I to be prepared for physical movement in October 2025? September 2025? August 2025? July 2025? You're saying I have to be prepared for physical movement July 2025. You mean packing bags and moving out from J1801 Purva Palm Beach in the month of July 2025. Are you sure? Today is 21st of June 2025. Today is 21st of June 2025. So you're saying before the end of July 2025, I will be moving out of this apartment of mine, 2 BHK apartment. You see it? I live on the 18th floor of Juara Tower. You're saying I will be leaving from Juara Tower, 18th floor, J1801 Purva Palm Beach. Advani is the nameplate on the outside board. The nameplate on my door is Mirchandani or Gidwani. Does it say JAYA.ADVANI? My apartment has just the name Advani on it in the nameplate. You're saying before the end of 2025 July, I'm going to be leaving from here. Physically packing and moving. Somebody from the 70s is going to come here. Will they be connected to the Sadrangani family and the Advani family? No, who do I expect? From Advani family? Sadrangani family? Will I recognize the person? Will it be a boy? Is it Nikhil's friend? Okay, I'll keep it on hold. I think I've done enough of a session till now. I'm going to be closing the session here.